Today's video is brought to you by ablmerch.com. We've got these USA special edition hats. They're in limited quantity, so get yours right now today and use promo code 1776 to get 20% off your next order. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Fox News host Tucker Carlson alleging that the NSA, the National Security Agency, is spying on him. Apparently, according to a whistleblower within the government, Tucker is saying that they're reading his private email. Like, he's been able to see some of the evidence, and he's like, okay, the only way you're going to be able to get this is if you were to read my emails. I did not give you permission, so what's going on? Now, elephant in the room straight away, I believe every word that Tucker says. Every word. Now, before I go really into it, let's go ahead and roll the clip. This is going to be from Fox News after the initial Fox News allegation from Tucker. You understand? So Tucker put out an allegation one day, and then the next day he doubled down on it after the NSA responded. So after we get done watching that, I'll talk about what Tucker said. I'll talk about what the NSA said in response. Then I'll give you my 2 cents, my deep detail analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Tucker Carlson said that the NSA is spying on him. Is the administration aware of any espionage or listening efforts on U.S. citizens by the NSA, and is Tucker Carlson one of them?
Well, the NSA, as I think you're well aware, I'm sure everyone's aware, everyone on this plane is aware, I should say, is an entity that focuses on foreign threats and individuals who are attempting to do us harm on foreign soil. So that is their purview, but beyond that, I would point you to the intelligence community.
It's like she's reading the Wikipedia entry. Ask them. But here's what to notice. No denial. Of course, she's right that the NSA is chartered to spy on foreigners, not on Americans. That's illegal. And yet the NSA does routinely spy on Americans. It won't call it spying. That's exactly what it is. Millions of Americans. And sometimes it does it for political reasons. And everyone knows this. Everyone, including sitting members of the Intel Committee. Some of them are paranoid about their own communications. That's true. In Washington, this is just considered fine, but it's not fine. It is dangerous and it's wrong. Some faceless hack in a powerful government spy agency decides he doesn't like what you think, so he's going to hurt you and there's nothing you can do about it. That could happen to you. And when it does happen, trust us. NBC News will call you a delusional QAnon conspiracy theorist for complaining about it. Well, this morning we decided to just call Paul Nakasone directly. He's the highly political left-wing four-star general who runs the NSA. The receptionist refused to put us through. We're American citizens, though, so we kept trying, because it's our right. This afternoon, we got his direct line, and we tried again. Nakasone's assistant seemed shocked that someone whose email the NSA is reading would dare to call the director himself. Shut up, serf, obey! So they told us Nakasone just wasn't there. Then, just minutes before air tonight, the NSA sent us an infuriatingly dishonest formal statement, an entire paragraph of lies written purely for the benefit of the Intel community's lackeys at CNN and MSNBC, all those people they hire with the titles on the screen. They also tweeted it out a few minutes ago. Now, last night on the show, we made a very straightforward claim. NSA has read my private emails without my permission, period. That's what we said. Tonight's statement from the NSA does not deny that. Instead, it comes with this non sequitur. In part, quote, Tucker Carlson has never been an intelligence target of the agency. Okay, glad to know. But the question remains, did the Biden administration read my personal emails? That's the question that we asked directly to NSA officials when we spoke to them about 20 minutes ago in a very heated conversation. Did you read my emails? And again, they refused to say. Again and again. And then they refused even to explain why they couldn't answer that simple question. We can't tell you, and we won't tell you why we can't tell you. My emails. And the message was clear. We can do whatever we want. We can read your personal texts. We can read your personal emails. We can send veiled threats your way to brush you back if we don't like your politics. We can do anything. We're our own country. And there's literally nothing you can do about it. We're in charge. You're not. Orwellian does not begin to describe the experience. It was like living in China. But we should get used to it. Now that the Biden administration has classified tens of millions of patriotic Americans, the kind who served in the military and fly flags in front of their homes, as potential domestic terrorists, white supremacist saboteurs, we're going to see a whole lot more of this kind of thing.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, there's so much to quote unquote unpack. I'm not really sure where to start. I guess first things first would be this. The NSA spying on Tucker, what could their purpose be? Why would they want to spy on Tucker? Well, I think once you are the most popular broadcaster on television, and if I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments below, but you're the most popular broadcaster on television. It doesn't matter, liberal, conservative, politically agnostic, the most popular, and you are conservative and you don't mind having whistleblowers, people like Project Veritas. You don't mind having them on at the 8 o'clock primetime hour to talk about what's happening to millions of people. That might be, something that motivates a government agency to try and ruin your reputation, to try and shut your show down. Maybe that makes sense. Just maybe. Okay. Now you saw the NSA's response. They said, hey, he's not a target of investigation, speaking about Tucker, and there's no plans to take his show down. Well, that's not really your true response. Like Tucker said, you didn't really answer the question. Do you have my emails? Okay. Tucker was on the phone apparently with the NSA or somebody and was asking the specific question. Do you have my emails? Have you read my emails? They didn't want to respond. And when he asked, hey, why don't you want to respond? They said they can't say why they can't respond. So it's like, all right, you wouldn't be so strong talking about how I'm not a target and how there's no plan to take me down. But yet when I say, do you have my emails? You don't want to answer. Now, here's a $1 million question. Some may have, if you've not put, 2 and 2 together, connected the dots and figured out what's happening. The NSA says Tucker Carlson is not subject of investigation. He's not an intelligence target or whatever. That does not mean they're not investigating Tucker, spying on Tucker, Fox News, and you and I. Let's go back to the election, 2016. Remember when the FISA court granted a warrant to spy on Trump Tower? Remember that? Okay. Now, NSA says, as well as Jen Psaki, I think when they asked Jen Psaki about this, they were like, oh, well, the NSA, they're tasked with foreign communications and foreign intelligence. And the NSA said the same thing in their statement. We're about foreign intelligence. Tucker's domestic. We got to have a warrant, blah, blah, blah. Well, FISA is the same thing, right? Isn't that literally like the Foreign Intelligence Agency? Well, it's an act. The FISA Act, it's about getting foreign intelligence. So why was this quote unquote Foreign Intelligence Act used to spy on Donald Trump and his campaign when they are U.S. citizens? Well, remember this whole thing about Russia. Remember that? That was the whole key to be able to spy, because they, whoever they may be, said that the Trump campaign were quote unquote colluding allegedly with the Russian Federation to interfere with the 2016 election. So they had to spy on Trump Tower to figure out if there's any Russian agents, any kind of Russian spies, double agents or whatever in the mix. Then they accused Trump Jr. of having a meeting with the Russians. This is where all the Russian xenophobia came from, because it was an excuse. Okay, let's cook this foreign boogeyman up, Russia. Okay, they're white, they're Christian, no big problem. Okay, that's better than talking about China because they're minorities, they're Asian or whatever. We don't want to attack Asians. Let's attack the Russians, have them be the scapegoat so we're able to use the FISA Act, get a warrant, and then spy on Trump. Could be the same thing going on here. Tucker may not be the target of investigation. Maybe there's something else going on, and Tucker just happens to be kind of caught up in the dragnet. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. Maybe. Now, Edward Snowden tried to warn us about this, didn't he? He warned us back in 2013 about the NSA and the things that they do. All these little, kind of secret agencies and people within the agency that are kind of rogue. Because even if the NSA says, oh, he's not a target. We're not looking into him. There's no plan to take the show down. Maybe people within the agency have a different point of view. Maybe they're going to use their power or abuse their power, quite frankly, at the NSA to try and target Tucker Carlson. And the timing of this little press release that they put out on Twitter was very interesting because Tucker shows at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day, at least Monday through Friday. They put their release out at 8 p.m. sharp, like 8:00, not 8:01, not 7:59, 8:00 sharp. So was that a message? Are you taunting Tucker? Does the NSA have connections to the liberal politicians, left-wing media? Is that what's going on? Maybe not the higher ups or the quote unquote people that lead and managers of NSA. Maybe some employees that work there, maybe the social media team. I'm not really sure, but somebody may have an axe to grind. There may be a group within the NSA that have an axe to grind against Tucker. And like Edward Snowden said, they can do it. You know, I remember this whole thing about Huawei. Remember that? Everybody was saying how Huawei, they're spying on you. They're sending information back to the Chinese Communist Party because it's a Chinese phone. And anything made in China, you got to do it with the Chinese government. So why wouldn't they put spying devices on the Huawei phones? Now, that's a valid concern, 1,000%. But at the same time, the NSA, we've known for quite a while, or at least quote unquote suspected, that they're spying on us using our phones, using our telecom companies, AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint, etc., Verizon. Okay, they're listening to our phone calls, reading our emails. We've known about that for quite a while, and not just high-profile people like Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson, anybody affiliated with anybody that has a different point of view politically. Not just them, but you and I as well. Okay, and sometimes local governments do this and they don't really hide it. They put it out there in the public. Okay, you got a guy running from the law, right? He's a fugitive of the law. He has a cell phone on him. If the federales, they know what his phone number is. They know how to track his phone as well. And they could find him by pinging his phone. Okay, there's been cases recently where guys have gotten locked up over Instagram direct messages. Now, how does the local government, wherever you live, have the authority to read your direct messages? Oh, to provide a warrant. You know, okay, he's a suspect in X, Y, and Z crime. Give us his direct messages. Give us all his cell phone data, and they got to comply. So if they could do that to just a regular normie with some kind of, suspicion of a crime over their head, why not a higher up with some people that are kind of shady within high levels of government? Why wouldn't that happen? But as I close, I want to say this. I believe Tucker 1,000%. And to drive that point home, Tucker, like I said, is the biggest broadcaster, at least arguably, on television. We're talking about news. So if he says something like this and it winds up being false, that'll ruin his reputation. That'll ruin Tucker Carlson. Oh, you want to say things like that aren't true, all this, that, and the third? Big allegations like that? He would not say a thing like this if he wasn't confident that it was true. The question that we all have at NSA is, do you have Tucker Carlson's emails? Have you read Tucker Carlson's emails? Answer that, then we can move forward. But until then, I believe Tucker. And even if you do answer it, there's too much of a history here of these government agencies not doing well, not doing right by the American people. That's why I'm in favor of smaller government. I'm no anarchist, don't get it twisted, but smaller government, in my humble opinion, is always better government. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that Tucker Carlson is correct in his allegation? Do you believe him? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. Do you think that the NSA would never spy on an American citizen? You know, forget Edward Snowden and what he said. Forget Tucker Carlson and what he's saying right now. Forget Trump and what actually happened that was proven in court, the whole FISA warrant thing. Oh, it's foreign intelligence. Why did spy on Trump then? Huh? I think we have enough evidence, at least circumstantial and sometimes physical, to at least suspect the NSA of doing something like this. At least, at the very least, it shouldn't just be brushed off. I implore everyone, whether you believe what I'm saying or not, to do your own independent research and make your own mind up that way. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.